In visuals live from Tianjin at the moment, Russian President Vladimir Putin in China. He's landed in Tianjin for the SCO summit. He is there being welcomed by the dignitaries in Tianjin. Remember, Putin is going to be holding a bilateral with Prime Minister Modi, and they're of course expected to discuss the Ukrainian conflict. And he's of course there to attend the SCO summit. Right before this, in fact, in an interview, Putin had asserted that he continues to have good ties with China, and that Russia-China ties will continue. Priyanka, on that point, Russia also does maintain good ties with China. They have in the past couple of years as well. We've seen that China and Russia have maintained diplomatic good ties. And like you mentioned, the US, although has been quite firm over Russia, Trump has been playing his cards in a way where he portrays himself to be a peacemaker. So if India manages to somehow convince or get the ball rolling, so to say, over the Ukrainian conflict and peace towards that, things would perhaps work out well for India as far as tariffs are concerned.
As well as, Modi might win the Nobel Peace Prize that Trump so desperately wants, right? I think if Modi can play peacemaker and put an end to the conflict, but I don't think Modi is really trying to do that. I think India under Modi is increasingly post-alignment. They're engaging the US where interests align, but they're also not hesitating to say no over here. And this is the same across every country. This is how Modi's diplomacy is. And this can be seen in continued Russian oil purchases despite Western pressure. So Modi is playing a very big balancing act, but it's not balancing dependence here. Now, as for the tariff tensions that you mentioned, I would say that a mutual compromise is likely. Let's keep in mind that Trump has imposed these tariffs, but they're still very much in the negotiation phase, though the outcome is probably likely not immediate. So India may offer targeted market access, like easing investment caps, which are incredibly high at the moment, for the US to enter Indian markets in select sectors like retail or clean tech, while the US could also roll back some tariffs in exchange. Now, behind the scenes, both sides know that they need each other to counterbalance China. At the end of the day, that's the bottom line. Neither wants a prolonged trade war with each other either. So expect tough rhetoric publicly, expect a lot of headlines to be made, but I think quiet recalibration here diplomatically is going to achieve this. So we may not see it tomorrow or day after, but let's not forget that talks are still happening between Trump and Modi.
Absolutely. And as far as China is concerned, both India and the US have over time been trying to counter China's growing influence in the neighborhood, especially the Indo-Pacific. How do you think that's going to play out?
Well, one of the major goals of the SCO, the first major goal that's listed on the official website is counterterrorism as well as security cooperation. So I'm very curious as to what President Xi has to say on this, because, there should be a joint effort here to fight extremism, not just extremism, but drug trafficking, cross-border terrorism. As Aditya said, there is no good terrorism here. We have a strong stand as India in terms of what terrorism is. It is terrorism, as it sounds. There's no good or bad over here. The other core goal of this SCO is strategic dialogue without the West, which is very, very interesting. So this is one of the few multilateral forums where India, China, and Russia sit at the same table without the US or the EU being present. So this is almost a geopolitical space to push for multipolarity. So I'm very curious as to what they have to say on border terror.
Right, Priyanka, another key point over here is the fact that Trump has been coming down heavily over the BRICS and Asia groupings. So how does the US view this expanding influence of the SCO, especially with China and India being the key members?
Well, you saw the theatrics after the BRICS summit, right? So you can expect the same theatrics again. But, in reality, Trump really can't do very much about it. As you can see, the three superpowers have already attended. They're among the first to arrive at this summit. Putin has arrived. Modi is there. President Xi is also there. So he really, I mean, Trump just has to kind of sit by and watch the news like the rest of us to see what is going on over here. So he's not going to like it. You can expect something on his Truth Social platform, on his Twitter, that's not going to be pleasant. He's probably going to bash India. He might, as I said before, impose even more tariffs to maintain leverage. But as I said, this is all theatrics and negotiation is still underway. Let's not forget that. So behind the scenes, Trump and Modi still do respect each other. They're still friends, but let's not forget there is still a negotiation going on. So you can expect a lot of theatrics, the same theatrics that we saw after the BRICS summit. You can expect them after this summit as well. Probably even worse because China, Russia, and India have attended without Trump. But you know, I think his first Truth Social post is going to be very, very entertaining, to say the least.